I am also aware that some of the melodies that I know are a little old school Kolami because I really learned them back when Cantor Larry was the guy doing it. So if I'm singing one you don't know and you want to join in, go for it. If you one you love, feel free to let me know. And maybe we can do two. But for now, if you want to start page 128 with Hine Matov. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה טוב, הנה שבת אחים גם יחד. This one. All right, we're going to go to 142 for Shalom Aleichem. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, שלחי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. We're going to move on to the Chadodi. We're going to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. It's on page 138. So a little bit back. And we rise to welcome, not right now, but in the middle of it, we're going to rise to welcome. I've got the candle lighting right after Lechadodi, following the rabbi's instructions on these ones. So hopefully, he doesn't get too mad at me. Just the gnomes on the roof. All right. Anyone have a favorite Lechadodi tune?
No, just do the old one.
חדודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבל. חדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לך דודי לקראת... Wait, I got to go. לך דודי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמו וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ותהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 2. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, kavod Adonai laich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 9, and we rise to welcome the Shabbat. Boy, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה, בואי קלה, בואי קלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. All right, you may be seated, and I have a special helper who's going to help me light the candles today. Talia, do you want to help me light the candles? Yeah. Okay, come on up. Okay, I'm going to help you with this. Come on, we can do it though. These are fancy. Okay, go ahead and hold it. Yeah, you're doing it.
I can help you up.
Yes, you can. Kol hakavod, you did it. Give that to me. Oh. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר גישנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. And we'll continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. I get a real kick out of the Chatzi Kaddish because, as you may know, it's written in Aramaic. It was written in Aramaic because at the time it's what everybody spoke and no one understood any Hebrew. And so they were like, well, at least have one prayer for the whole thing. People understand what's going on. And now it's the one that no one knows what's going on because who speaks Aramaic? יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עולמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דגושה, ברכו אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו. Turn to page 146 and rise for the Baruch Hu. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני. Wait, I'm jumping forward. Genuinely don't remember this. Anyone remember the tune of this one? It's the one missing. We can do it in English. So we're going to read on 149 at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way, the time and seasons glide. Your breath glides the sail. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day and night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. And you may be seated. Turn to page 150 for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו, קומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Didn't you ever have a prayer that really just brings them back to a specific time where they first heard it? This always brings me back to BB camp. I was an adult, but that was the first time I heard it there. So it always brings me back to that really lovely summer. We'll go on to 152 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. The Ve'ahavta is on the next page, 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We'll be doing the Michamocha next on page 150, no, on 158. Rabbi left me a note. He says, do a little kavanah before the Michamocha. Give your own 30-second intention or picking a reading, which is a nice note. I have to think of one. And then he made me write the Dvar, so I think we're just going to stick with that one. All right. So we're going to Michamocha. Sounds like you have a favorite. Is that out? Okay. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele. The kids really like a longer one. We're going to go to the Hashkivenu on page 160. All right. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, shalom, vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Yeah. Realize some of these are shorter. And the Veshamru on page 162. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדור את בrit olam. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. And we all rise and turn to page 164 for the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagid teilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh Hakol, Ve'zocher Chazdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei bneihem, Leman Shmo ve'ahava, Melech Hozer u'Mashiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מושיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, חיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. And then we continue the silent Amidah from 172 to 180, which is a chance to read the whole thing if you'd like. Find one piece that catches your attention, or some personal reflection or personal prayer. I'd like to find one piece and just spend some time with it. Because if I read all of it, I never get through it. Do you need a little Abba hug?
Give Abba chibuki. You wanted the book.
Oh, you want a book?
I don't want this book.
You want a different book?
Yeah.
Do you want to go over here? The books are over there behind the wall. Go around the wall and the books are right there. Do you want to go look for them?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, let's go look for them. Come on. learning to be Jewish as a kid is a challenge. You know, doesn't want to be here. It's hard to be here. Proud of her for showing up this far. At this point is when we want to take a moment and think of those who may be in need of healing, those are maybe sick, or just needing a little bit of our love and attention. As we do them, as we move to the Misha Berach on page 371, I've got a list of people that we're going to keep in our hearts and minds, and then I'll open it up for anyone else who would like to add a name. Adi bat Romit, Aryeh ben Yaakov Mordechai, Baruch ben Sarah, Gila Chaya bat Mordechai, Lev Vegila Leah, Gittel Leah bat Masha Chana, Itka Fega bat Gittel, Rachel Liba bat Moshe Menachem Mendel Vegittel, Shuai bat Sarah, Tova Chava bat Chaya Rochelle, Tzvi ben Yosefa, Yaakov Ovdaya ben Ruth, Israel Beryl ben Zcharia, Yitzchak Meir ben Yehudit v'David Laban, Maria Allred, Sarah Bell, Ed Bronsky, Rowan Fay, Martin Goffin, Fran Lappin, Tanner Light, Megan McLeby, Janet Sue Morley, Mort Pallett, Penny Spector, Nancy Sterling, Adina Stern, Sue Oak Choi, Stephanie Walsh, Michelle Winston, and Judy Wolf. If anyone else like to add another name that we can all hold while we sing the Misha Berach? And if anybody who's joining us remote would like to, now's an opportunity as well. Realizing I'm talking very quietly, I'm so sorry. And with all those names in our hearts, we'll turn to the Misha Berach, which is 371, halfway down. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Well, now I get to tell you a little about the Torah portion. Does anyone know what the parasha is? Top of your head? Okay. Try to figure it out together. We could do this by we could all guess letters, throw them together. Well, this week is Parashat Mishpatim. Now you know, there's the answer. This week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, tells us the age-old story of God giving us the rules of kashrut. Because, you know the story, God gives Moses the Torah and the Ten Commandments, then tells him the whole Torah B'al Peh, which is the Mishnah and the Gemara. And then just before Moses heads down the mountain, God says, oh, Moses, one more thing. Don't cook a kid in its mother's milk. And Moses thinks for a while and says, do you mean don't mix meat and milk? And God says, no, just don't cook a lamb or a kid in its mother's milk. Moses takes a thoughtful moment and then says, you mean don't mix meat and dairy dishes? And God says, no, don't cook a lamb in its mother's milk. Moses thinks for a while and says, I got it. You mean we have to wait 4 hours after we finish with the dairy before we can eat the meat? God's like, no, don't cook a kid in its mother's milk. Moses thinks a long time this time before he says, I understand now. We have to wait 8 hours after we eat meat before we can eat dairy. And then God says, just do whatever you want. I might have added some slight commentary on my part on that one, but let's be reasonable here. That is the most convincing explanation you've heard of kashrut, isn't it? Actually, Mishpatim is one of my favorite parts of the Torah. It's when the laws that govern Judaism start to really take shape. It helps us transition from the Ten Commandments to the robust and often bewildering set of laws or mitzvahs that are the hallmark of a modern Jewish faith. Some important ones of note, in no particular order, are do not tolerate sorceresses. When a man borrows an animal and it dies of injuries without the owner present, then fair payment is due to the owner. If the owner is present, no payment is necessary. Honor your parents and do not strike them. When you see a wandering animal, return it to its owner. Help all animals, even if they are the animals of your enemy. 6 years shall you plant and reap the harvest, but the 7th year you shall let it be for the poor and the animals to graze. 6 days you shall do all your tasks. On the 7th day you shall cease from work, so that you and your animals, your servants and strangers may recover. One of my favorites is, you shall not oppress nor do wrong unto strangers, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I'm very much pulled to talk about that one today. It feels appropriate in a world that is quickly becoming harsh and hard on strangers. But I also think you all know this, and that you've already taken this portion of the Torah to heart, and likely live a value of welcome and care for those that you don't know but may need your help. So instead, I want to focus on a story that starts here and ends in the Talmud. At the end of this portion, Moses goes back up the Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights, and during which he is given a mandate to teach the laws of the Torah as they were written that day to his children and his children's children, and that's the door of the door that we all know. The actual work we use to describe the laws of Judaism, the mitzvah, comes from the Hebrew word tzava, or command, and in many ways this is the moment power is entirely handed down from above. God has said, and it is so. A real reflection of the first book of Genesis. But like any parent, God has to watch his people grow up. When I'm not last minute showing up here to lead services, I do have a day job, which I know is surprising. And in that job, I work with a lot of kids and parents. I'm a clinical mental health counselor. I work with a lot of kids and their parents. And I watch this struggle regularly as parents give their love and dedication to their kids, packaged neatly, organized after a lifetime of personal challenges, setbacks, successes, and growth. And I watch as each and every kid slowly tosses it out and demands that they know better. I watch the heartbreak and the frustration that the sometimes desperate attempts to recenter their kids on what they know is right. And I also watch the pride and admiration of parents as through the struggle they see their kid turn into humans, and watch them overcome their own challenges and blossom into something that never could have existed had their kid left the path laid out for them. And as for the Jewish people, let's flash forward some 3,000 years to the Beit Midrash of medieval Europe, into the moment in history where the Talmud is taking shape, and in the specific one called the Baba Batra. It's a deeply unimportant conversation that takes off. If two people have a house with a stove in it, and they live on different floors, but both use the stove for warmth, but not for cooking, who has to pay for the repairs if the stove breaks? Central Jewish question, right? Who hasn't asked that question? All the rabbis agree on one of the answers. I don't even remember which one, except Rabbi Eliezer, who refuses, claiming that they are wrong and that is not what God wanted. And what follows is worth a moment to hear play out. So I know this is translated, but this is from the Talmud. Rabbi Eliezer said to them, if the halacha is in accordance with my opinion, this carob tree will prove it. The carob tree was uprooted from its place 100 cubits, and some say 400 cubits. The rabbis said to him, one does not cite halacha proof from a carob tree. Rabbi Eliezer then said, well, if the halacha is in accordance with my opinion, the stream will prove it. The water in the stream turned backwards and began flowing in the opposite direction. They said to him, one does not cite halacha proof from a stream. Rabbi Eliezer said to them, if halacha is in accordance with my opinion, the walls of the study hall will prove it. The walls of the study hall lean inward and begin to fall. Rabbi Yoshua scolded, the the walls and said to, Rabbi Yeshua scolded the walls and said to them, if Torah scholars are contending with each other in matters of halacha, what is the nature of your deference to Rabbi Yeshua? But they did not straighten because of the deference. Do Rabbi Eliezer, and they shall still remain leaning. Rabbi Eliezer then said to them, if the halacha is in accordance with my opinion, heaven will prove it. A divine voice emerges and said, why are you differing from Rabbi Eliezer, as the halacha is in accordance with his opinion in every place that he has expressed an opinion? Rabbi Yeshua stood on his feet and said, it is written, it is not in heaven. The Gemara asks, what is the relevance of the phase that is not in heaven? In this context, Rabbi Yirmiyah says, since the Torah was already given to us at Mount Sinai, we do not regard the divine voice, as you already wrote at Mount Sinai in the Torah, after the majority to incline. And then that is one of my favorite statements of Jewish theology, which is Lo b'shamayim hi. For those who didn't follow, because the Talmud is always fun to try to follow, at the end of the day, the Rabbi Eliezer saying, I have proof. The divine agrees with me. And when finally, literally, a voice, an angel from God comes down and says he's right, everyone goes, yeah, but the Torah you gave at Mount Sinai is ours now. In this moment, the rabbis, the spiritual leaders of our people stand together and tell the voice of heaven, I'm using some Gen C's laying here, bruh. You said to Moses that we should follow the Torah to the letter, and that letter says we get to choose. So please, it's our turn. I wonder if maybe in that moment, God was looking down and feeling just a little proud. And with that, we have some announcements. So, welcome to the Shabbat. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Yotam, for leading this evening as Rabbi Spector's attending the press. Hey, we'll be welcoming Alan Mornis from the Valley Beit Midrash to discuss the forthcoming book, The Shabbat Effect, on Tuesday, February 17th. This event is free for members and includes dinner at 6 p.m. before the lecture at 7 p.m. Reach out to Galit for the promo code or the register. Other coming events, we've got pre-Purim Bake and Sip on Thursday, February 19th. The Religious School's Trivia Night fundraiser that evening is at 5:30 p.m. A special Persian dinner at the shul as we host Hillel students on February 27th. And Rabbi's pre- and post-service classes, What is Prayer? And Rabbi and Rashi on February 28th. Purim is just 2 weeks away. Ooh, that's exciting. So help fulfill the mitzvot and mishloach manot, something gives, and the manot le'evyonim, giving to the poor, as we raise funds to send Purim goodies to the community, donating to the Mishloach Manot Fund. You can also pre-order Hamantashen. All proceeds benefit the religious school. As part of our Purim festivities, a religious school Purim Carnival will be at 10 a.m. on Sunday, March 1st. Then join us for the Shushan Shenanigans with a Persian-style dinner, costumes, and fun beginning at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, March 2nd, followed by the Megillah reading at 7. We will be having a Purim morning service on Tuesday, the 3rd. Better than anything I have to say. If you want to register for our next congregation trip to the Jewish heart of the Baltics, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia in May of 2027, the trip is more than half full after only a week of open registration. That sounds like fun. And we are currently collecting food donations to support the Jewish Family Service Food Bank. Abin is located in the West Foyer. I can tell you that I've worked with so many people that have found like a real lifeline in that very specific food bank that is a good place to be putting your energy.
Anyone, you don't have to be Jewish.
Yes, Jewish Family Service helps everyone. It's actually one of the few pantries in town that doesn't require people to be proving their identity. They just have to sign up. So a lot of people who are reasonably worried about having their trail be followed sometimes have nowhere to go, and that's one of the few places. So definitely a lovely, lovely place. For more details on these events, you can refer to the Shabbat announcements and on the website. As always, we're grateful for our members, volunteers, donors, and guests for your participation and support. Shabbat Shalom. I was mostly stressed about that one, honestly, all this. We've done that before. All right. We are going to move on to the Aleinu at page 586. And I need 2 volunteers to come help open our ark. Any volunteers? Talia, do you want to volunteer? You can help me open the ark? Yeah, you can open the ark. I opened the ark a lot when I was a kid. Do you want to come help me? All right, we got our ark openers. Page 586. Sorry, you were right. I just heard three things in my head and they didn't connect. What? Oh, literally just as we start, and then when I tell you, you can close it. You can just pick her up and help this moment. Okay, Teddy, you're going to open this side, and Mommy's going to open that side, okay? And everybody, please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדם. It's one at the bottom, by the way. שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. You can close now. Page 588 on the top. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, משה וקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל אליך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. We come back together, page 591. ונאמר, והיה למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Be seated. We turn now to the Kaddish Yatom, which is a chance to remember those who have passed, either recently or at our yard site, or just sometimes to rise and hold space for those who are no longer with us that we may know or not. I have a list of people that we're going to specifically hold in our hearts as we do this Kaddish Yatom, and then afterwards I'll give everyone an opportunity if they would also like to add a name. We've got Alvin Ernesto Alvarado, Todd Baruch Bird, Francis Bernstein Wimmer, Esther Billing, Abe Bloom, Dale M. Carl, Catherine Clift Peck, Sophia E. Cohen, Molly Doctorman, Jacob Eliyahu, Charles Feinberg, Benjamin Frank, Charles Goldstein, Freda Gorodetsky, Dora Gus, Minnie Harris, Anita Hobfall, Zalman Horn, Michelle Kotler, Sue Lappin, Salvador Viloris, Morris Levine, Hazel Lieberman, Bruno J. Loeb, William Lutzker, Melvin Mednick, Jake Miller, Jeremy Douglas Miller, David Napuk, John Pritz, Diane Greenberg Roseman, Jack Roseman, Gladys Gladstone Rosenberg, Barbara Rosenfield, Barnett Roseman, Bernard Sachet, Louis Seidman, Max Skolnick, Alan R. Small, Linda Speaks, Sue Spector, Jeff Stone, Jeffrey Stone, Margaret Yarmiter, Paul Janowitz, and the Shloshim of Bert Saltzman. Yeah.
Oh, no, you already said my mom's name.
Oh, okay. If anyone else would like to add anybody else, please feel free to. If anyone following us online would like to, feel free to add. If it is your custom to rise, or if there's someone that you're remembering, please rise for the Kaddish Yatom. Oh, this is in English. We do the Kaddish Tom in English? I'm so sorry. I got caught off guard. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. רבה ומן קריב ואמרו אמן. שמירה יתרבח ויתרומם ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דגושה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Turn to page 5. Turn to page 123. In my defense, I have dyslexia, and Kaddish and Kiddush are spelled one letter apart, 2 letters apart. Should start with this, honestly. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam boreh pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילתנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי הבנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. חיים. And then we'll do the hamotzi. Oh, before I do the hamotzi, I'm being told here that we should do a concluding song, but I'm going to throw it out to you all. Who would like to choose a concluding song? Something to finish with? You do? What song do you want us to sing? There's options on 2 pages 625 to 630.
Baby shark, don't do it. Well, I'll be dreaming the sharks tonight.
He'll love it. We chose Baby Shark as our song. Me shark do 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 do, mommy shark do 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 do, mommy shark do 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 do, mommy shark. Daddy shark do 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 do, daddy shark do 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 do, daddy shark do 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 do, daddy shark. All right, thank you everybody. Let's do the hamotzi. Appreciate you all. I know, right? First time for everything. Since 91, I don't think we've done that one. What?
I don't think the song was out there.
Not the YouTube version, but I feel like I remember it from my child. I don't know, maybe not. It's like on Nickelodeon or something. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Well, if anyone would like to come grab some challah, you're more than welcome to. Thank you all for coming today. Shabbat shalom. And yeah, have a good. Here.
You take some first. Yep.
That's something to tell your kids. You know, you finish Shabbat service with Baby Shark.